We've recently been building out our investor network here at Pitch Black, which has been really cool. Starting to meet some awesome people around Australia and beyond that want to be part of our network and get access to startups. And one of the themes that keeps coming up in these conversations is about what does a great founder look like? Like if you're going to invest in a startup, what does that founding team look like? What are the qualities and the sort of traction things that I should be looking for? So that keeps coming up on most of the calls. So 3 things that we think makes a great founder. This is not the only 3, but 3 that we'd like to really point to. Firstly, they have some sort of unfair advantage. Unfair advantage means we believe could be firstly domain expertise. So if it's a health startup, having a big background in health is obviously going to give you an unfair advantage because you're going to have contacts and experience that relate to your idea that gives you a big head start. It's not always the case, and we've definitely had some good businesses where we went into it quite naive ourselves, so that can be good if you surround yourself with the right experts and people, but that's a big one. Domain expertise gives you a big head start. Or secondly, it might be around another unfair advantage is the founder having technical ability. So that could be, they might be technical at marketing, really good at Facebook's ad platform, that's helpful. They might be designer, so great at brand or UX, UI, or even a lot of successful startups actually have technical founders in the sense of coding. So like Mark Zuckerberg,
smoking these meats here,
from Facebook is a great example of that. He was a coder and still is. So looking for a technical founder can really help because it's easier for them to get the trust and respect from their team. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they have a lot of momentum. They have a moving train. So it's really easy for people to come up with a shiny website and pitch deck, and that's not very helpful as a potential investor to receive one communication or one deck talking about the traction from the startup. It doesn't tell you much because it's one point in time. So how to spot momentum in a great founder is actually you want to ask them to give you regular updates by email or calls, whatever you want to do depending on how much time you have. You want these regular updates talking about the momentum and the traction that they're getting, because if that's happening every week or 2 and they're doing some really big things every week or 2, that's a great sign of a great founder and a great startup, as opposed to if it takes months in between each milestone, then you know that they probably don't have the velocity that's required to build a successful startup. So that's the second thing. And the third thing to look for is around one of our 9 commandments, test, don't guess, which essentially is about entrepreneurs being more scientific in approach. You don't want to be backing a founder who blindly trusts their gut and makes decisions on the fly without looking at what's the hypothesis, what are the assumptions I'm making, and then how do I test that? That's how successful startups are built. Not, this is an idea I've got, we're going to go in this direction because I know or I'm assuming, and let's go. That just loses the trust of your team and ends up making big critical mistakes that you can't reverse. So you want to look for someone who's open-minded, great at asking questions, they're scientific in approach, and they test, they don't guess. So to recap, 1, they have some sort of unfair advantage, whether it's domain expertise or technical skills. 2, they've got a moving train, they've got a lot of momentum, and they're keeping you updated with the momentum and the milestones that they're hitting. They don't just have one shiny pitch deck that looks impressive. And thirdly, they test, they don't guess. So they're scientific in approach, they don't trust their gut too much, they're open-minded, they listen and they ask questions. So I hope this helps in understanding a bit more about the mystery around what a great founder looks like and who should be invested in. And I'm keen to hear your thoughts, so let me know what you think is the number 1 quality that makes a great founder. I'd love to hear about your experiences.